Great. Well, welcome everyone. I'm going to make two attempts here. I'm sorry if I insult people. Venedosi a todos? Buenos dias. How about that? All right. I won't insult my Spanish colleagues anymore. I'm Paul Hendrie. I'm a hematologist from Seattle, Washington with the Fred Hutch Cancer Center. I'm also a member of the ECDGA, and I've been doing this for a few years now, and I really appreciate Kathy and giving me this opportunity to be on the board. So, how many people are here, and this is the first time they've ever been to this ECD conference? Can you raise your hand? First time? Ah. And how many people have been to all 10 conferences? Raise your hand. Ah. Well, great. It's wonderful that we have so many first-time attendees. And so I just want to give a little bit of background on how we got here. And around 2009, there was a group of caregivers, families, and patients that had gone through a lot of struggles, finding the diagnosis, getting the diagnosis, finding someone that doesn't give them a blank stare about the diagnosis, and then with limited treatment available for them. And so they got together and they said, okay, we're going to make this better for people in the future. And with the assistance of medical professionals in the area, they formed this Erdheim-Chester disease Global Alliance. Pretty remarkable that they chose to say a global alliance, or a small group, and they said, hey, wait, we're just going to do it everywhere. So it's really impressive what they did with this. And one of their goals was to try to make it accessible so all could participate, not limited to a few specialties or a few patients, but make it open that everyone could be involved. And they had four kind of pillars of what they wanted to do. First, and probably foremost, they wanted to have a support network so that patients and family members in the future wouldn't have to go through some of the struggles and grief and everything else that they went through. So first and foremost, they wanted to have a support. Second, they wanted to get better at this. They wanted the future to be brighter, and so research was very important. So the part of their goals is to advance the research, to make us know more, find out more about this disease, improve in our treatments. The third was education, so not just to figure this out, but to make sure that everyone has access to what we learn. So to educate both professionals and patients and families. And then finally, awareness, so that the professionals that might see a patient the first time with findings of ECD or diagnosis with ECD know what it is, and don't give these blank stares that maybe they got in the past. It still happens some, but hopefully that's one of their goals there. And so in this process, in arranging this, moving this forward, the research and stuff, they had great support from all my colleagues in this field, both medical professionals and scientists and patients and families. So this is a timeline of what has developed since 2008 when the ECDGA was founded. So tremendous amount of advancements, really incredible for a disease that was rare. I don't know if all medical students' education that was actually ever said. But to have a rare disease, to get where it is today, with the recognition that it has now as a cancer, with the FDA-approved drugs in these annual meetings, just for this disease is pretty impressive where we are. But we have a long way to go, and so hopefully there'll be like a third line to this timeline as we move forward in these meetings. As I said, one of the important parts of the ECDGA is the last two words, and that's global alliance. I know in the United States right now, global and alliance is not like friendly terms anymore, but the ECDGA still, they want to be a global organization, and they want to form alliances around the world. So as of 2024, there's 1,018 patients who have registered with the ECDGA. These patients come from 75 different countries, and we have 41 ECD referral centers across the world, and in multiple areas in the United States. So truly amazing achievement by this organization. So what does the ECDGA do? They do a lot. And probably everything's not captured on this slide. But they have a patient navigator. So now when you have someone looking for a diagnosis or with a diagnosis and no doctor, there's a navigator that helps them get through the system, helps them find the care. On the website that's been designed, there's online chats and webinars. And then there's these annual conferences where we get new people here that we can introduce to this disease. The Care Center referral network is very strong, but we need it stronger. We need to have more networks across the world. And one of the focuses is still in the research funding. And in every year, there has been funding from the ECDGA for research. And it just gets greater as we move forward. And we don't plan on stopping that. That's a very important component. We continue with the education, we continue with the awareness, and the ECDGA also is here to help scientists and medical professions to find patients, to recruit patients for future clinical studies and clinical trials. So we're here to help. So how do they do all these wonderful things? Well, a lot of it's just hard work and dedication, but they need some money. And then we do get donations, but most of those donations, 94% of the donations are individual personal donations. And the vast majority of those are from caregivers, family members, or patients with the disease. 94% of the funding is incredible. We do get some funding from this conference registration, so thank you very much for coming to the conference. And there's a small amount from corporate funding. We right now have no government funding from any governments. We would certainly love to have it, but at this time we don't have it. Most of the funding that we have also is coming from 3 countries. We need to do better. We need to broaden that out across the world and get everyone if you know someone that has the means to help us out. To talk to them and hook them up, because we can only continue to do what we're doing if we get continued funding. Likewise, if you have resources with the pharmaceutical companies, we're not opposed to getting grant supports for some of our programs. So if you're in with someone and they're looking for something to do, send them our way. So then what do we do with this money? And the organization has made an effort to minimize the amount of overhead. So the amount of funding that goes to keep the ECDGA going is a small percentage of the total funding. Where the funding is going is to the patient supports, the annual conference, the awareness and education, and then these research grants, which are very important. We usually try to target someone new, I used to say young investigators, but now, this day and age, I say new investigators. So it's open to people who are starting things later in their careers. So today, we have a wonderful symposium here. And so the focus here is to listen, to learn, to ask respectfully pointed questions, build collaborations, offer our ideas to our colleagues to advance their research, and just to be part of this wonderful community. And then a very sincere thanks to Javier for putting this together. It's a lot of work. I know I did it last year, but he brought it here. We've never had a meeting in Spain before, so this was a wonderful job that he did. And then all the hospital, university staff that has helped with this, thank you so much for putting this together. And my colleagues on the planning committee, thank you all. I think next is that we'll start the actual meeting here, so you don't have to listen to me anymore, and I won't insult you with any more bad Spanish. Matthew Collins is agreed to be the awesome MC for today. So Matthew is from Newcastle, UK, and I think many of you know him. So Matthew.